8.
This the place to gamble. I ain't talking about Nevada. You gotta get it how you got it.
I tell you guys every single episode is the quality of your living. The quality of your living is based entirely upon what and why and how. And if it actually work, how you going to continue to keep it afloat? You know, everybody talk about defining success, you know, and putting in the work. And I only can think about really a few men in this thing we call the industry that, you know, can actually outwork someone like myself. You know what I mean? And I've known wordsmith, lyricists. I know people who've just been 1,000 throughout the whole process. You know what I'm saying? So this episode is a very, very special one for me because I was actually able to watch it, you know, with everything that we do. You know, we plant seeds and we evolve. And we're going to get into that as well. Yeah, exactly. But I could say rapper, I could say wordsmith, I could say father, I could say author, I could say what? Director, mentor, big homie,
Big bro, little bro. You know what I'm saying too? You know what I'm saying
grandson.
at the same time. Saying grandson,
Yeah.
community advocate,
hmm
Renaissance. You know what I'm saying?
Doughboy Sums
You know what I mean? Renaissance
is in the building.
Facts, you know what I mean?
Sir, what's going on?
Man, what's going on, my guy?
It's not about me, it's about you right now.
So.
You know,
It's
as
about us.
you always told me over the years,
Uh-huh.
one thing about you, some law, one thing about you, Irv, you have a revolving door. So everybody that deserves to continue to, whenever they feel, you know what I'm saying? I watch you, as I always been telling you, dog, any chance that I get to do something, see, I'm always trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying, man? You know, so, you know, this episode is, you know, I thank you for popping up.
I appreciate that.
Because I know that it's not easy. And like I tell you guys, like the set is, you know, acronym for the strategy and the execution and the teamwork. And it definitely takes all three. You can't have success without having a focus and knowing how to get it done and being around those that keep you grounded. You know what I'm saying? Like we was just talking earlier today. And you was like, you stepping in the church. Yo, just shout, just give us a quick little prayer. You know what I mean? Just
I love that. I definitely threw that up.
yeah, without question, because we need it from every direction. You know, even if we don't know that we need it.
Fact.
But yeah, man, you know the question again. You know, with a lot of you guys, what don't you do when you think about it? That's a better question. And what are you not doing now? Because I mean, you could be at Jackie Robinson Park.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're doing that. You know, you just play me 6, 7 tracks.
I think it was maybe like 4. There's definitely more tracks. Definitely.
Well, I saw a lot of titles. I put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But yeah. What isn't that you're not doing right now? Like, what's the focus?
What
Like,
am I
why are
not
you here
doing?
on the set now?
That's a great question. You know what I mean? I think, and see, it goes back to when you just said planting the seeds. I'm real big on planting seeds. I've created a philosophy, I think, years back, where, and I've even talked about it in one of the songs. I gotta make sure I play it. But you plant seeds all around in your field. You know what I'm saying? So when the rain comes, the whole field water grows and you deal with. Not all the plants are gonna grow at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So you deal with the plants that you can cater to. You know what I'm saying? A farmer of your destiny. You know what I'm saying? But as far as what I don't do, I don't even know, bro. Like I just don't stop. So it's like as long as it's right, as long as it fits into the plan and what we're trying to do, you know, we're gonna do it. But I tell you what I have been doing a lot lately, like really started a nonprofit and it's called FEAST. It stands for Fostering Education, Art, Sports, and Trade.
Yes.
And we got incorporated last year. Been able to do some things. And the event that you just talked about in Jackie Robinson Playground.
That was the event.
Yeah, so it's a month-long event. It's a community urban planning and design workshop for all ages. just teaching people how to get involved with designing their communities. Where I'm at, I lived in this area of Brooklyn for about like 17. And I've literally seen gentrification happen right around me where I can like literally corporate involved. And we see the development happening right around us. I said, well, wow, somebody has plans for our community, but what are our plans? You know what I'm saying? So, and if we did have plans, how do we implement that? You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to build a community center, you know what I'm saying, for the kids and for the seniors, and I see a space, how can I actually get that space to become a community? So that's what we teaching families, kids, and people of all ages come out and be a part of. So things like that is what I'm doing that's really exciting. Those are the type of things that I want to talk about. Like, those are the changes that I think that we've come accustomed to as we've grown up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really just about the music. I got music. I got big shit to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm glad you mentioned that. So if that's the case, then who were the people that, because you know they say it all starts from somewhere. You mentioned seeds. So there had to be those that before that was able to plant the seeds, in you to expand and evolve and do what you do now.
Fact.
Who were those that were before? That's why I mentioned grandson and things like that. Because I know, where you come from.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things of, who were those people that was planting the seeds in you that got you to this point?
I'll tell you one thing. It was when I was just talking to my wife about this. This was my Uncle Eddie, God rest his soul. My Uncle Eddie gave me a message to the black man. He kind of told me how to move a little militant. And it kind of put me on a being different. Like, you do what you want to do in the streets, but you understand what's going on out here. And make sure that you know what you're doing. Try to keep me on more of a intellectual path. And I think that kind of as a kid, I just separated myself mentally. Certain things that I look at. Even though I'm sitting right in the mix, I'm right on the block, I would be able to just take myself out of it, look at what's really happening. You know what I'm saying? And I see the systematic things that's set up for our communities. It's crazy. Like, when you know better, now you can do better. So it's like really like, I just want to make sure that we give our youth the opportunities that we didn't have, that we was robbed of. Like, for instance, my hood, the PAL was taken away.
For the P, what's the PAL for those that don't know? I know, but I'm saying, but
the PAL is the Police Athletic League.
And what was that for?
It was a community center. It was a community center. So the Police Athletic League is sponsored, I guess, by the NYPD. But anybody who grew up in New York, y'all kind of know about the PAL center. And if you still have one in your community, now we had one, and it was taken away. Now, when that was taken away, you seen all of the kids that was there after school, getting help with their homework, learning how to play basketball, you know what I'm saying, getting lunch and getting dinner and things like that. Now they in the streets.
Isn't that where the song YMCA came from?
No, that's the YMCA.
Isn't it like the same thing?
I mean, it's a community center.
It's the same thing.
Those are both community centers, but it's not the same
They had
thing.
the policeman was one of the characters.
Bro,
that's the
I don't
PAL.
know that.
I'm not too far off though, right? There was a cop, right? One of them was a cop, right?
Yeah, one of them was a cop.
That's the Police Athletic League.
Nah, you mixing up two different things, bro.
That's not the same thing.
You mixing up two different things, but that's hilarious. Nah, two different things.
The connection's good though.
Nah, that's hilarious. That was great.
You know.
But they were both community centers.
It's like everything that they were saying in the song, you was just naming.
Community center stuff.
Yeah. I'm just want to make sure we're in the same page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, doing things like that, man, getting community involved, man.
All right, so I was calling you that Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Saturday? Yeah, I was calling you because I was trying to pull up on you back to go get my daughter and multitask. You know what I'm saying? But I was just following up, man, because I know it was right there, like right down Atlantic.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, actually, like, but
Not too far.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's the direction? I mean, we know community advocate. We know you're doing that, but then what's the? I just heard. I just heard new music. I'm a fan. I have a book. We're gonna get to that in a minute as well. Books, plural. There's so many different avenues. What's the
anchor?
what's the
What's the focus?
yeah, like you just I got gifts.
I got gifts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. You know what? To answer that, I've seen I could tell you about matter of fact, it was Jazzy, and he was saying, "Don't die empty." No, he was saying, "I'm sorry, die empty."
Yeah, don't die with everything
Don't die
inside.
with
Yeah,
everything.
don't die with anything inside you. Yeah.
Die empty.
That's
my goal. That's my focus. Like I said, I plant the seed. And the great thing about it is the way I move with things, bro. It's so crazy because a lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people ask that question. But what I'm doing, the seeds and everything is growing at the pace that I love it. And it's providing opportunities in all different ways. And when that's happening, I'm able to connect these dots over here. So when something sprouts over here, I say, oh yeah, I'm doing this as well. Because there's connections and they all connect.
So staying connected to everything is pretty much the
everything and getting it all out. Like I'm a creator, right? So my main thing is creating, right? I need to create. I need to, whether that's making music, whether that's clothing line, whether that's writing films, you know what I mean? The books. It's all about getting out those. I kind of go crazy.
And that going crazy ain't no good for anybody.
That's a fact.
I mean, yeah, man. There's a couple of questions I do want to get to. We're gonna go to commercial break, pay a couple of bills. You know what I'm saying? But we're here in the studio. Doughboy Sums.
Know it.
Or should we just go with Doughboy?
Set.
I mean, yeah, we're here.
On the
Doughboy
set.
Sums here. We're live on the set. We'll be back.
Do it.
We will be back.
We out here. It's the Feast Organization and Network. We getting these turkeys together for Jackie Robinson Elementary School, helped by the community, First Baptist Community Church of Crown Heights. All of our friends and neighbors, thank you. We're gonna get these turkeys to the school this year. Bye.
You love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Entertainment comes in. Guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track, if you know what I mean. With us, no more struggling between the wants and the needs. Get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, Governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Someone has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer, yeah? Call us and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio. Yeah.
You back?
And black.
Back in black. Back in black. Always in black.
Yeah, we back live on set. Irv, Doughboy Sums.
Happy to be here. And just gotta keep saying that.
Well, and I'm happy to receive gifts. Ain't nothing like when someone come on a set and give you something that you could actually put to use. So I mean, listen, I take not just merch. I love my merch, but this is technically
We
merch.
gonna get you some merch too.
This is merch too, technically still.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Merch.
I love merch. Yeah, please. I mean, books. Yeah. Speaking of this, man, Healing History Hope.
Yeah. Don't Bite the Hand That Weeds You. It's a book I wrote. I took some classes at Mega Evers, um, cannabis, horticulture, and the whole history of the plant intrigued me so much that I had to write a book about it. But also with the legalization of marijuana and the business behind it, so we not only have the book, but we also have a website where we support black business of a cannabis, basically like a marketing site. So this is something that I feel like we had to do. We had to educate our people. Like, the way I grew up, you know, police lock you up, for a bag of bud.
Yeah.
Um,
Those were the days.
those were
aren't
the
they?
days, right? That's where we came from, right? Luckily, if you had a DT that make you stomp it out because guns, you know what I'm saying? But there's such a crazy story behind it. You know what I mean? America was using the cannabis plant before this whole illegalization, right? Cannabis stalk, the cannabis actual plant was used to create fabric, used to create the U.S. flag, was used to create ships, was used for medicine before we had aspirin. And these are a lot of things people don't know because of how we was taught. So this was something that I had to share with our people. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate
Man, thank you for giving it to me. I mean, nothing good when you hear gifts.
it. Gifts.
It feel like Christmas.
Facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But besides author and community activist and father and husband and mentor and musician, artist, what's going on with that music that I was hearing? I mean, I just want to make sure that you're very clear.
Yeah. So the music, so the music is definitely on the way. As you see, it's ready to go. Me and my brother Cap, Coach Cap. Shout out to Coach Cap.
Shout out to Cap.
Or
Shout out to Cap. You land without question.
That's my brother. That's my partner in this crime and this music. This is what we do. We've actually just been sitting back, planning and strategizing on how to release this music. One of the great things is that I love about how we move because we're family people. We have kids. We take care of that first. Take care of that first. And if there's any type of family issue or any type of personal issue, we don't have no problem with saying it's just music. You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to it. So we kind of move on how we want to move. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have a specific date yet, but it's coming this year because we got so much albums to drop. It's just all about time and doing it right. When you have such a small team, I feel like it's a gift because you don't have to rush it. And you can work with professionals and just say like, yo, look, we're gonna put this out how we want to put it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In an independent way. And that's what we have and that's what we do. Like, that's it.
Is Take Note gonna be on this
Yeah, Take Note is gonna be on this project. Take Note is the first joint on this project.
That's my track right there.
And so thank you. I appreciate that. Take Note is that shit. I fucks with Take Note and I hope they fuck with it. Got a great response so far and it's been growing. But yeah, that's the first joint on the project. And like we just want to just keep giving them music and seeing a response from it. You know what I'm saying? Not force feeding anything. You know what I'm saying? Like give the people some music, see how they respond to it. You know what I'm saying? And give it back. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much the goal right now.
Yeah. Right. So how many tracks you think will be on the project?
Somewhere around like 14.
Okay.
Somewhere around like 14. It's crazy because I recorded enough tracks to do 2 albums. 2 albums worth of music. I recorded in basically like 30 days. 30 days.
You just working, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, like in 30 days, really less, honest. But I just recorded a batch of songs. It's ready to go. The project is ready to go.
What gives you that drive to be consistent and keep your integrity intact?
Mm-hmm. drive to keep the integrity tact. And
But I'm talking about as far as what gives you the drive to be able to do so many other things. There's only a few people that I know that, you know, is gonna continue to do. It's not just one thing. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm a rapper." You do too much, or is it too much?
no,
That's
it's
my
not.
thing. So my thing. So
I think
what
a
gives
lot
you
of
the
people,
drive to?
just knowing that there's really enough time in a day to figure things out, right? I said everything doesn't need to be tended to in one day. Everything doesn't need to be tended to in 1 week, right? You have to kind of like really look at your system. You know, not put too much on your plate, but you have to, you know, all of the things that you want to do, right? You can do. You can do it, right? It's just in what time, right? How fast you want to do it. What's your goals, right? Is it a short term goal? Is it a long term goal, right? And you kind of work in between that, and that's what I do, right? So as a person who makes music, you know, I have the ability to make music right in my home, so I can do that whenever I want, right? As a person who's always wanted to write a movie, right? Now is the perfect time to do and write movies. Like you have the access to putting things on digital streaming, right? You have the access to just do a movie with your phone if you want to. It's all about timing, right? And what you want to do, like what really what burns your soul at the moment. I'm really like that type of guy. Like this is really what drives me. Like if it's the music that drives me at the moment, then it's the music, right? But if something else pops up, right, then I juggle it. Then I juggle the two, right? And if something else comes on, then you know we work with that as well. And then you find your scheduling in between, if that makes sense. And I feel like I found sense in that. That's not for everyone.
Found the schedule.
Yeah, I found the sense in that.
The scheduling is what it is, and you know, like everyone asks, like, "Yo, how are you up at 2:30 every morning?" It's
There's some days you're up to 3 a.m, right? There's some days you're up to you're getting up at 5 a.m.
I'm up at 2:30 every morning.
Up at 2:30 every morning. That type of work ethic is different, and that's another thing. I think that's the real kind of answer to your question: having a work ethic and a real care for something.
Yeah,
right. There's some people that want to do things, and there's some people that do it.
That burning, it's a desire, and it's like something that's pretty much like out of our control.
Correct.
So I always wonder because there's it's people like Cap who's always thinking about something creative. That balance. As a father, as a husband, as a artist, as a producer, as a company owner. It's a juggling act.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes me wonder, like with you, I have to read your book. I have to listen to the music. I have to, edit the footage. I know that I'm supposed to take I would have grabbed my daughter and pulled up if she wasn't on teenager time now.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
But teenagers.
I'm raising one.
Oh.
It's a heck of a job.
We're gonna go to commercial break.
On that one.
We're live on set. Fucking jeez. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio.
Thomas.
You know the timing now. We're back live on set. Irv, Doughboy Sums.
We here.
Here in the studio, pushing buttons. And
real quick, what's this? The third time? Is this the third time around on the set for me?
Well, the show itself?
Yeah.
No.
What is it?
The first.
You sure?
On the actual show, the set, like live on set with Irv.
This is the first?
Or you just putting up on me and just, this the years of us just sitting down, just.
Nah, that's definitely the same.
Just doing studio shit.
Nah, on the set. This is the first.
This will be the first.
That's crazy. You know it's wild because I feel like just all of the shit that, the way we talk, right, each time feels like this. You know what I'm saying? Like the way we just talk. You know what I'm saying? It's
like, yeah, exactly.
So I don't see it like different. You know what I'm saying? I thought I look at it all like on the set.
I hear what you're saying.
And maybe I feel like, because I've been there from like the beginning.
Because you're a part of the set. Yeah. Like all of y'all was, you know, like planting seeds. Like, yo, you should do this or try this. Or, you know, me just being in the mix. I'm just in the mix.
Nah, but this is
you know,
fire.
like you said about the revolving door. Everybody that I've always admired as far as artistry, creativity, you know, you see so many different people here and you be like, it's a bunch of different people here. Yeah, but you look at it like an onion. There's so many layers to what I do, who I'm connected to, for what, why, and how. You know, and for what reasons, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, with you being here, you know what I'm saying, man, me as a public educator, we're educators. We're, you know, we're girl dads. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. We have women. You know, we have responsibilities. You know, people that, you know, if we stop doing what we do today, it affects tomorrow.
Yeah, facts.
You know
a lot of people.
Very much so. You know what I'm saying, man? But it comes to, what do you think that we need to start doing in 2025 that can make the next 60 months, 5 years, like the year 2030, look a whole lot brighter? Like, what do you feel we could start implementing, like, day to day?
That's a great question. Have an agenda. Have a real agenda. You know, family agenda, economic agenda. Have a community agenda. Have a relationship agenda. You know what I'm saying? A child agenda, wife agenda, self agenda, mental health agenda, a physical health agenda.
I was just saying that to my friend. He was saying all the things that he do for everybody, and I said, you didn't say anything you did for yourself yet. Like nothing.
Forget about that.
You named everybody, even saying, yeah, man, I'm supposed to even call you. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't even like.
Well, as black men, we fall into that easily because a lot of people put us into that box where all you're supposed to do is think about others.
Who's a lot of us?
A lot of black men.
No, a lot of black men, yes. Yeah. But you said a lot of black men fall into that box because we're put in that box. By who? By family, people around you. It'll make you feel like, yo, you know, all you have to do is think about me, such and such and such, and to have you forgetting about yourself. It happens a lot. It happens so much. It happens daily. Yeah. It happens daily where, you know, it's like, have you ever caught yourself in that type of realm? Because I've seen you in so many different lights. I've seen you. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why everyone, like when I was reading you stepping in the church, I was like, it's so crazy. You said it when you said you see me everywhere, and my head is like letting God shine. That's what came in my head, like letting God shine. Like that's what that is. Y'all don't even know. Like, I know. I was able to see a little bit of everything. You know, and it's you know, like I always tell people, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, why is it happening to me? Why this is happening? I'm like, yo, because you can't have a testimonial without being tested.
Facts.
Like you had to go through every situation. You had to, feel even if do you feel as if you touched rock bottom yet?
Nah. Rock bottom? I prayed. I was like, nah.
I mean, like when you ever feel like you was at your lowest.
Yeah, there's times. Yeah.
Would you consider that to be like rock bottom?
Nah, you know why? Because I've seen rock bottom. I've seen other people in rock bottom. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like and for anyone going through anything, there's someone who went through something worse than you, or going through something worse than you.
Trying to tell you, I always say that even as far as in the school system, I say, listen, I never bring my problems in the building. It's something about me where even if I got something going on, it's easy for me to be able to be like, this could stay right here at the curb.
Okay.
And then once I leave, I'll pick it back up. You look at everybody else's problem. Let's say if there was a bonfire and everybody had all their problems and everybody's about to throw it inside there, you look at your problems and pick them right back up. Take them right back home. After you look at everybody else's problems in front of you, be like, you know what? It ain't as bad as I really, really think it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So to be like rock bottom now, I feel like a lot of times, and see, the shit that I went through growing up was the same shit all of my homies was going through. Same shit the niggas around the corner going through. So it's like we normalized a lot of the stuff that we went through and go through. So a lot of times we don't look at it as rock bottom, right? You know how niggas say on the streets, right? Regular shit, just regular shit.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying? Because
like
you normalize the trauma. You conditioned it to be regular shit. So it's like, I don't know. Like little shit for me might be someone else's rock bottom.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So
all right. So just like with all these things going on, I mean, how's the Doe Jones clothing line coming together?
Oh, Doe Jones clothing is great. You know what I'm saying? This is one of our pieces right here too. Doe Jones clothing is just something that's always gonna be around. Always gonna be around. There's always gonna be new pieces. Always gonna be new pieces on the site. Make sure you check the site.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Link right all the information now on the bottom of the screen, yeah.
We can do a little promo code too if you want. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, what's give again, see now we're talking about clothes. What isn't okay, do you have a bucket list?
That's a great question.
I love these types of questions. Do Dope Boy Sons have a bucket
amazing.
list?
A bucket list. Yeah. The shit that I'm doing. The shit that I'm doing is my bucket list, bro. Right? It's so crazy because it happened in different ways, right? As a child, I was like, yo, I've had mixed dreams and ambitions growing up. You know, there was at a time going to the NBA like most black kids. You know what I'm saying? Also becoming a rapper.
So you was good at basketball?
Yeah, I was good at basketball.
You could play ball?
Yeah, I could play ball.
I've never recorded you playing basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I always seen you like, you do your little...
Nah, they call me D-Switch. They call me D-Switch on the block. D-Switch, yeah. I play ball.
You was really good at basketball?
Yeah,
I never knew that.
I stopped playing basketball around around high school time because I had scoliosis.
Oh, so that's pretty much when I met you. And then,
absolutely. So by then,
I
wasn't playing ball. My mom was already on rap. For a minute because I realized, like, after practice and shit, all of the kids was like running off, like ready to play another fucking game and shit. And I was walking over hurting and shit. I'm like, yo, there's something wrong. And that's when I found out like I had scoliosis. So I stopped playing ball.
You know, I spoke with Brick Say, who
my
was
guy.
here. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Brick Say.
Shout out to
all
Brick
the music that he's been dropping.
Yeah,
videos is fire. That's the type of shit that we need.
Yeah, and that's I was doing some editing for one of the other episodes, and I was looking at some of his footage and was like, I just need to just put his footage, just everything. It seems to just work. But he mentioned scoliosis as well.
Oh yeah, did he?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes,
crazy.
And not realizing, like finding it out, like how, like as an adult, like you just there for one thing. You say you had an accident and then went there and found out that they were like lesions and things like that. And
it's crazy, man.
And I don't understand. Like you guys, like you know, there's very, very few artists that I get the luxury of watching y'all like grow up and you know, and like instill like your penmanship and bringing it to the forefront is very, very. But then it's like y'all deal with similar things,
Absolutely.
you know, and it's like I don't have my own issues, but you know, like what is that like to deal with that, and then also, you know, the way you move around, and then fatherhood, and then in the studio, and then
It don't.
standing up and recording and touring, or
No, that's a great question. Honestly, I mean, it don't. It affects me, but it's like you can minimize it. You can minimize it. Like a lot of times, like you'll just get like flare ups of just pain. You know what I'm saying? Flare ups of just pain where it's unbearable to sit, unbearable to lay. You know what I'm saying? There's all different types of levels of scoliosis, right? Some people where the spine is just slightly curving. There's some people where it's really just like out of whack, right? And there's some people who dealing with like bad surgery, failed surgery. And you know, it's crazy because it's more common than you think.
yeah,
It's more common than you think. Yeah, it's definitely more common than you think. But you know, there's a lot of things that I should be doing. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of more things that I should be doing for back health, but I don't.
as far as like exercising and things like
exercising,
that. So you don't
I
do
really
those.
don't. I don't. I should be doing more, but I really don't get the time to do it like that.
So then it goes back to me asking you that question: what don't you do?
This is what you don't do.
He doesn't take care of himself. You know, and like you just said, you know, willing to give it all. You know, like they were saying, I don't know the verse, but I will look it up and I'll definitely put it in where it's like in the Bible, like your cup poureth over, your cup runneth over. You only can give to others when you are at your full.
Absolutely.
When you're able to like, you know, and still feel full of yourself. You know what I mean? Even like being halfway charged up is still not enough when, you know, if the wife's going to take 10% and your child's going to take 10%.
Great point.
And your business partner's going to take 10%. And then your job. And then by the time you get to you, it's like,
there's nothing left.
Ain't shit left, yo.
I got to go to sleep so I can wake up and do all that again.
And you only charge up to like 35%.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not good.
It's not easy.
It's not good.
It's not good.
So
that's the main point. It's not good.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, like you said, we know we have the time, but you have to.
No. You're absolutely right.
You have to put in the actual time. You know, a little Martin.
No facts.
Switch. You got to do that.
The kid and play.
You got to do it.
There's absolutely ways that I could definitely take better care of myself. Like I think as a person who has a 9-to-5, as a person who has multiple businesses, as a person who is a husband and a father, there are ways where I'm going to. It's hard to like when you have so much things to care about. You put yourself last a lot of times, and it's easy to put yourself last.
That's not good.
It's not good, but this is what I was talking about. Like as Black men, sometimes we've kind of conditioned ourselves or have been conditioned to just work and do the work.
So you didn't. So you didn't implement. You didn't figure that part out. You didn't figure out how to take care of yourself yet.
No, I do. I'm just saying that there's always
health-wise,
will be
like,
some things.
You stretch.
Well, no. So I feel like health wise, I haven't taken care of myself, right? Like, so I lost a lot of weight over the year. Plan on losing some more. But as far as back exercises and stuff
changing
like that,
your diet.
Yeah, definitely changing my diet.
So you don't eat Fat Boy burgers no more.
I will have a burger once in a while.
I will have a Burger King burger with large fries, vanilla shake.
Nah, not all that. I don't do all that. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely don't do fast food. I don't fuck with fast food like that.
Nah, I hear you.
Yeah, I don't like fast food.
You do a Bubba Burger off the grill?
Off the grill.
Gotta have them. Yeah, you know I be having the grill.
You know, I'm a cook. I'm a chef. You know
what I'm saying? You know we gonna eat.
Yeah, especially
one thing
anytime
about Fat
I go
Boys,
outside. I like
Fat Boys gonna eat.
You already know. Doughboy subs. What we doing? You already know. Facts.
Speaking of Doughboy Sums and you know eating and cooking, you know we're gonna cook up a couple of more ideas, man. We're live on set. Sums here.
You already know it.
Figuring it out, pushing buttons.
Wow, first time.
Back. Yeah, first time on the set.
First time on the set.
Yeah, but yeah. You love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law Entertainment comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. What more could you ask for? With Some Law, there's no more struggling between the wants and the needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters, what you love to do. They're governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call them and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio.
Flipping, I'm about business. Getting spinach, I'm like Popeyes with this chicken.
All right, now listen, we are from Queens. I know we're in the studio in Brooklyn, but we from Queens.
Big Queens.
Many shows
Murdoch.
from Queens, you already know. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody out there, you know how it go. I'm saying that to say, we grew up hearing all types of the same music.
Yeah.
Music changed all the time. How do you feel about these artists and their Ricos and things that's going on with the feds
Good question.
and being charged for your vocals? Because now artists will be held accountable for what they actually be saying.
Was there some type of law that was actually passed just now?
No,
that
I'm just
actually
saying,
said
but
that?
like I
You
mean,
just talking about
like,
overall what
niggas,
they have been doing.
I'm like we were saying, like they're giving detail. I went to the store. They. I mean, what? When the lyrics pop up on Apple Music and you could read the lyrics,
Yeah.
you think they do it themselves?
So let's talk about this, right? So I think that there's a war on hip hop,
Always been.
but in a different way. There's
Always
actual-
been a war on hip hop.
And hip hop has been a tool. Hip hop has always been a tool used by the masses for multiple things. And one of the things that hip hop has always been used for is to affect the minds of young black males and underserved communities of black people, black, indigenous, BIPOC people, Puerto Rican, of all ethnicities in these underserved communities, what some people will call ghettos, right, or the hood. They have marketed music to affect the streets and to affect the minds in order to fulfill jail cells, right? And I think it's happening in a different way now, right? A lot of times they was letting the music just affect the streets, but now they're actually locking up the rappers for what they feel as though their people are doing in the streets. And you asked I feel as though they do it to themselves. In a way, yeah. In a way, we do it to ourselves, right? Because what a lot of people want to do is glorify something, right? So if you want to glorify something that you know is a crime, right? You got to take what comes with that on any
Very
end.
much so. I agree.
On any end.
That's
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
yeah.
If that's repercussion from the streets or if that's repercussion from the law. You out here talking about what you did. You know what I'm saying? Illegally. Like, why we do, like, we was taught to not do that, right? So in a way that it
And the
is brought on
generation's
themselves
different.
because it goes against all the principles that we was taught. And for some reason it faded away. But, you know, our generation didn't run to Instagram and say what was going on.
When did it fade away? When the cameras got into everyone's pockets?
When the cameras got into everyone's pocket.
Right after MySpace?
Yeah, and when the playground became technology, right? Now the playground is on technology. This is where we all are. This is where we play. This is where I'm going to talk about you. This is where I'm going to say what we're doing. This is where I'm going to say what happened last night. You know what I'm saying? And I got it all on film.
Yeah.
Everything is right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that happened there, right? Conversation is dead, right? I'd rather text people than actually talk to people on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I saw a post recently that was like, back then we used to pay, wait till after 9 o'clock, you know what I mean, to talk to people. Time. And then now we pay for unlimited minutes. And now that we have unlimited minutes, we don't even talk on the phone anymore. We don't even talk.
In fact,
yeah.
Connection is dead. Connection is dead with people. And that's one of the things that I feel as though we got to build with people. That should be on people's agenda. And back to that question before, spiritual agenda too. Got to have a spiritual agenda. Because it's crazy out here.
Yeah, I go for the 3 R's, my routines, my rituals, my responsibilities. And I've been doing that for what's been able to allow me to pivot out of being in debt and, not just in debt, but even like right now I'm on spring break and I'm not a person that's doing things at the last minute anymore. Now my projects are all done. I can have people on the set. I could work. I could put that shit on. I could change clothes. I could go out without having to feel like I have to do something at that last minute, And I learned a lot about myself, even in that process, as far as bettering myself. If that's the case, have you ever been to therapy?
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay.
I have. So like, I don't drink alcohol, right? And I went to counseling when I had decided I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't want alcohol in my life.
Yeah, that was a while back.
About 3.5 years now. About 4 years.
I remember that around that time.
Probably. Yeah. So
I didn't like hearing you like that either.
Yeah, alcohol isn't great. It's not good at all.
You was definitely affecting a few people.
Yeah,
more than a few.
That's what it does, and that's a deeper conversation as well, too. You know what I'm saying? Alcoholism is definitely something that can be passed on.
Yes, it is. It can be
through the genes of your family and through the action of the people around you and family. But also, let's talk about it though. And this is a great topic because really, what happens mostly, I think, what happens a lot, right? We grew up learning to stay away from cocaine, crack, and heroin, right? We could smoke weed and we could drink damn near all day, right? Motherfuckers drinking 40s, motherfuckers bringing gallons of Henny to the block.
You're thinking about New York.
Yeah.
Or East Coast.
Or whatever they drink on in other places.
That wasn't the same thing, of course, on the West Coast. So on the West Coast, thing in the South either. You know that, right?
On the West Coast, 40 ounces all day.
No, I'm saying that, but I'm talking about as far as, and it was 40 ounces even in the South. I'm saying even certain things. You know about the story with Cash Money and all of them? Like, they was always so used to doing, bumps of cocaine. That was the thing down there. That when they came out here and it was, getting weed.
Oh, yeah.
You doing weed? You doing drugs, nigga?
Yeah, you're right.
It was look that crazy.
In some areas, in some pockets, taking the bumps is regular.
Yeah.
Not growing up in New York. Not growing up the way we grew up in the streets.
So it was marijuana.
You can smoke bud.
It was malt liquor.
It
was alcohol.
And everything else you could sell.
The spirits.
Right? Everything else you could sell.
And you can sell crack, cocaine, heroin.
Whatever. You can sell whatever.
You can sell everything. Sell ass.
You know what I'm saying? What was that not saying? You ask me what I don't do. What was not being sold in New York City?
Everything is about 2 hours away.
Facts.
On a train.
Right? But to kind of land at home though, right? People are drinking alcohol all day, every day, and not realizing motherfuckers is becoming alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? Out here in the streets. So and then a lot of times, man, we grew up not really knowing how to drink. Like, motherfuckers would just grab the bottle, just Get a plastic cup from the corner store. You taking shots. You just drinking straight all day. No ice, no chaser. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers grow up doing the wrong things.
I got twisted.
And then find out later on how we get into these bad patterns. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
I got introduced to it in my freshman year in Jack. You know, I grew up on the square. You know what I'm saying, over there. So, you know, shout out to Al and all them square biz niggas over there too. Because when I was going in there at 9th grade, they were seniors. So it was like, that's homie from the block anyway. You know what I mean? But dude, like, you know, like you said, like cutting school, being a few blocks away, sipping on some beer, more liquor, 40 ounce, and being twisted.
I got people suspended.
I
got people.
I walked up in that school. It was like, my man, let's go right to the main office. Let's go. I'm in there like, yo. My sister came in there like, nigga. I'm like, yo, what? Yo, twisted.
Motherfuckers getting twisted. Not me, but other students throwing up and shit like that. It was crazy, and it was wild because like we would run around the corner. We would jack the door, put something in the door so we could run out, or somebody would stand around, make sure that we could hit the door, get back in or whatever. But we run around the corner to the liquor store that was on Francis Lewis, and as kids, like sometimes depending on who was in there, they'll give us the liquor. Or we just ask somebody to get it, just buy this bottle, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, word up.
And
Get the bottles, yo. Get a bottle for yourself too. Always worked. That's one thing about
stay away from alcohol, kids.
Yeah.
Stay away from alcohol.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Word, for real.
Or drink juice, natural juice and shit.
So what got you into church?
Shit. You know, that's a good question. I love the question. Be honest with you, I think it would be my Aunt Louise. My Aunt Louise, God rest her soul. When I was a kid, I just remember her just asking me one day, "You want to come to church with me?" And I was like, "Why not?" And everybody thought Aunt Louise was like the meanest aunt. It's so crazy because my Aunt Louise would come from Queensbridge every weekend and stay with us so she could be with her sister, my grandmother, or whatever. And every weekend she would go to church too. But she would be like mad mean to everybody when she was there. Like she's the type of person that like, swear to God, when you go to the freezer, she count how many ice cubes she heard drop in your cup. Once you got the 3, you want to drop it real quiet. Because Aunt Louise be like, that's too much ice in there. That's too much ice in there. You should be like, oh, shit, Aunt Louise. You know what I'm saying? But so when she asked me to go to church or whatever, I was surprised. I was like, yeah, I was a little kid. I believe I was probably like in maybe 5th grade. Maybe 5th grade, yeah. Around like 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I've always been in and out of the church, I guess, throughout my whole life. I've always been like extra spiritual and connected to God. Always. Even without the church. I've always been connected. Just for some reason, the higher powers have always kept something around me or put someone around me that always made me realize there's something bigger than us. You know what I'm saying?
Amen to that.
Something bigger than us. Something that, like, you look at flowers, strawberries, and like you gotta know like there's something greater than us that's provided for us.
Yeah.
You do research and look at cannabis plant, realize that it can actually anything. So it can build houses, it can create plastic or remove plastic and replace all of the things that they say is harmful in the world, right? Like everything was here for us. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what makes it interesting because you don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. You don't know. You don't know. Like what?
That's one of the questions of the universe. What do you think? When you think about that, what came first?
If we believe in a higher power, then you go back to the seeds. They plant the seeds of each elephant, and certain things come together in time. Like we are seeing certain animals start to integrate. That's able to. You know, that's why you'll see what's they call them? The ligers. The lions and tigers, you know what I mean? There's those breeds that exist. You know what I'm saying? Same thing in the sea, in the air, on the ground, whatever the case may be. You know, with different races and beliefs. But I believe that all of these things were created like two of each. Like they say in the Bible, Adam and Eve, like there was man and woman, right? If that was the case, then there have to be male and female of every thing in order to.
Does it? So, like, for one, with the ligers, right? Those are genetically modified animals.
You don't believe that. They don't believe. Okay, I'll help you out. You don't believe at any time in history that a lion never fucked a tiger?
Yo, I don't know. If someone put a liger and a tiger together, right?
I mean, boy, don't get me started now, baby. Don't get me started, because listen.
Lions and tigers are not roaming around with each other. Tigers are from the east, from like Asia, and lions are like in a different area. Now, I'm not a geographist or whatever you want to call it.
You sound like it.
But the lions and tigers don't roam around with each other.
So when you say those,
geographically.
So they're genetically modified.
Ligers are absolutely genetically modified.
So when they say genetically modified, how do they do it then?
I'm not the scientist.
I'm not the YouTube dad.
Yeah, I'm not the scientist, but they're genetically modified. They're still doing that today. Right?
Well, I know they're genetically modified.
They just brought back a wolf. But
wolves exist.
They just brought back a wolf that didn't exist.
As far as
they took like two types of genes and mixed genes from different types of
to be able
to create this wolf that resembles, that has the same exact genetic molecular structure of those fucking wolves there, and they're exactly the same. They plan on bringing the woolly mammoth back in the next 20 years.
Really?
Yes.
I need to do my research on these things, man, because I don't be seeing any of this.
No, this is facts. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this is really going down. So, I mean, we got crazy scientists. Like, we got so much access to technology. We got people who are geniuses too, right? And just can figure shit out. So yeah, man, this isn't these types of things aren't far fetched.
Top 5 rappers.
Nas, Hove, 50, Biggie, Raekwon.
I can now understand your style of music a whole lot more just by off of that. This nigga don't win. Okay.
Facts. Raekwon was my favorite rapper growing
Purple
up.
Tape.
Purple Tape was my favorite, like criminology rap, like
Ready to Die.
Mm-hmm.
Blueprint 2.
No, sorry.
The Black Album?
The Black Album.
Oh, see? I knew it was
Black
coming.
Album, yeah.
If it ain't black or blue, it's either one. It's one or it's because.
It's the Black Album.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I could see that.
It was written.
Get
Richard Die.
Get Richard Die trying.
Those are staples.
Those
growing up.
Okay, so then I'll make it. I got a good one for you because you named a few. That was too easy. What about top 5 rap groups?
Top 5 rap groups. That's gonna be tough. Lost Boys, Mobb Deep. Lost Boys, Mobb Deep. A rap group. Fuck. That's crazy. Rap groups. Lost Boys, Mobb Deep. Who the fuck is in a group?
Oh, what do you want to go there?
We're going to throw G-Unit in there. We're going to say G-Unit.
Okay. So you consider G-Unit as a rap group?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then what about Dipset? What about the Locks?
Locks is definitely...
No, I mean, I don't want to sway. What about Griselda? I'm just throwing things up in the air now.
Yeah, no, but I'm going to take that out.
What about Murder, Inc.? You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing stuff up.
No, not top 5.
Okay.
Not top 5. But for rap groups, absolutely Locks. That's not just taking that because you threw that out there. That's because that's real. Like Locks, as far as a professional rap group,
Yeah.
right? They kind of set the bar for like what to do, what don't, how to stay relevant, like how to grow with the times. Like I look at what they did with the verses, and they put on a fucking clinic.
Yes, they did.
They put on a clinic.
Very much so.
And people can, of course, especially with what's going on with Puff and Bad Boy and all that stuff now, but it seems like coming from that camp, there's a certain level of performance that has carried along to this day, right? And it's important to come from a school of something, to have studied something.
That's right.
Right?
Got to.
To have mentors in something.
Got to.
And to take your craft seriously. One thing that the difference between what Dipset said and what the Locks said, the Locks were prepared. All three of them were talking for like the 2 weeks, talking about things they rehearsed.
They stay together anyway.
They stay together anyway,
They stay together anyway.
They stay together anyway and probably talk about whatever,
Yeah,
right?
that's
but
it.
there's probably a scheduled time, a locked out time where we're gonna talk specifically and strategize about this. It's not in the mixture of we talking about, yo, Styles cop some shoes or whatever, nah. It's locked out.
It's about that set.
Yeah.
The strategy, how you execute it, and your team.
And I like it.
How you make
To
it
me,
work.
it goes more to your 3 R's: the ritual,
The
the responsibilities,
yeah.
and what was the third one again?
Your routine, your
Routine.
rituals. Yes, your
Right.
routine.
They have a routine within those rituals and responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do and strategize
Yeah,
on
and
it.
make it come together.
Yeah.
And don't stop until we have it all the way figured out.
Facts.
Because there was even counters that came along with it.
Yep.
So we have, you said Smashing Pumpkins.
Never.
You said Creed.
I don't
You
know
said
who they are.
U2.
I've heard of
Bon
them.
Jovi.
I know U2.
And Nirvana.
I'm pretty sure they're all great groups and bands, and I know they are.
He said, man, he said none of that hoe.
I can't speak to none of their music, really. You know what I'm saying? I really can't.
But you said, okay, so G Unit.
So G Unit.
That would be
Mobb
50.
Deep.
So that's 50. Banks.
The
Yayo.
original team.
This the 3.
Yeah.
Mixtape G Unit.
Mixtape G
Before Buck.
Before Buck.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, because that's what was hot on the streets. Like that was an era for us. Like that was an era for
one thing
and you know what's so great about
glad
it, though, bro?
about being
It wasn't
in
just an era for us in Queens. It was an era for hip hop for the world. Like people still talk about like the fuck is the name of it? I can't remember the
Was the G Unit
with the
mixtape?
G-Unit
Which one?
mixtape,
Which one? The
yeah.
one where he's where they got like the white vest,
The white joint with
blue jeans,
with
and
the
he's
red, white, and blue ribbon around it and all that shit. And I think the Guess Who's Back mixtape
Yeah,
was crazy.
yeah,
Guess Who's
yeah.
Back mixtape was
My joint was
hard.
on there. Guns for sale. Got that old Trey Pound. Got that new Trey Pound. Got a new thing. And they all for sale.
Yeah, that shit was
Woo!
fire.
G step for gangster. Unit step for you niggas in trouble. Better lock and load on the double G unit. Fresh for them. Ooh!
Fire.
Calico had a shot. She, oh boy.
Fire.
Dum, 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 dum. And what was cool about it too, and I give you guys grace. And
Yo.
I thank you guys.
Hold on, don't give me grace.
Don't give. Oh yeah.
me
Don't,
grace.
don't. Let me stop. Let me give you. Let me give you homage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, listen. I'm trying to find balance in it all. You know what I mean? It's like you just came from church. You just came out of church.
I got enough grace. I got enough grace. They fed us. Don't give me grace.
They gave me wine.
Yeah,
They gave me some grape
hello,
juice.
wine and some grace.
Get some saltine crackers and all that. But being in love with music, and I've always been all over the place with music.
Mm-hmm.
But like being in high school and then coming across, the Lost Boys,
Mm-hmm.
And getting, just
out to
like
LB, all the
without
Lost Boys out
question
there in
for
Queens.
life, because like indirectly being like implemented into crews. I was never part of any set crew, but it was like I'm with Lost Boys, I'm with Bloods, Crips, Folks, Lion Kings, Lost Souls,
Yeah, you was
LSC.
everywhere.
I'm with Claw Clan, I'm with Square. It was like, I'm just all over. So to be able to grow up with You know, and rest in peace to Freaky Tah.
Fact.
Because
R.P. Freaky Tah.
yeah, without question,
Mural
man.
is just up too.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And shout out to Maine, because that's where I saw it.
Man,
Without
shout out to
question,
my big
you know
bro.
what I mean?
M6.
Listening to like the music, I remember when Cash Money Click used to be on Hollis, I was right there close. I remember being in high school and then, you know, hearing about the Lost Boys and then being in class with the Lost Boys. It was like, oh, word?
Yeah.
And then understanding, you know, like when the nappy head ass dread nigga pop right around the corner, you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, that's that crew.
Yeah.
And the style, you know what I mean, the Carhartts. And you be like, yo, word, yo, go to Gertz Mall, yo.
Gertz.
Go get some Big John,
Gertz or go to
Big
Cali.
Smith.
Go to Cali, go downstairs and see my man. I forget my man.
Yeah.
It's been so many years.
Go get right. Go spend the $20 on them pants.
Nah, but that was great though. Like, cause it was a culture.
Yo, and you guys introduced me to so much of, you know, what the Lost Boys meant to Southside. All I knew at one time was Onyx. I knew Cash Money Click. I knew Run DMC.
Right.
I knew that Mob
Tribe
Deep.
Called Quest.
Yeah, Tribe Called Quest is
On
Linden.
Boulevard.
I'm just trying to just go far back. But I remember for me, like being dropped in, it was the Run DMC era.
Yeah.
I was about 8 years old.
So I grew up in a spectacular area.
So did you give me 5? Before you go, was that 5?
I gave you 5 groups? Yeah, I gave you 5
No, you
groups.
didn't. You said Dipset.
I
Mobb
didn't
Deep.
say Dipset actually.
No.
I said I said G-Unit. I said Mobb Deep. I said The Locks. Yeah, so I owe you 2 more.
Yeah. You didn't give it. I'm like, wait a minute. It didn't happen that fast. De La Soul.
NWA.
De La Soul.
NWA.
Tribe Called Quest.
I'm gonna say NWA.
NWA. Okay.
Do you want like explanations behind it, or you just want the list?
Well, I'm just curious. I'm just trying to get a good scope of NWA. You're missing one. Griselda?
Nah, that wouldn't be my top
No?
5. Other rap. This is a great question. Let me think on this. Damn, I'm trying to think labels. Gotta be somebody from Def Jam. Gotta be a fucking group of
Crisscross?
Nah, that wouldn't be top 5. It's hard to get a.
I'm thinking So Def.
Yeah, that's definitely So Def. Gosh,
Red and Met?
that's a duo. I don't really consider them a group. Wu-Tang, I'm bugging. Yes, the Wu.
We're cut all that middle part out.
Yeah, let's do that. But you know what's wild though? You might have to go back to one of our other interviews. You asked me a similar question and we did it the same way.
Probably. But that's funny because
you asked me my best duo.
Because see, I wouldn't dare go to Bone Thugs. I knew that wasn't your thing. Like, see me, I say Bone Thugs or Wu-Tang off the top. Then I started.
Wu-Tang is one I always forget though for some reason.
But you know why? And I understand why. Because it's just so many members, and it's
it's so many. It's like, oh shit,
but you damn sure did mention the chef earlier, so
absolutely. But chef was, you're right. But for some
you
reason, I forget about them as a group though.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of a bit of a struggle too, because you know, I mean, Busy Bone haven't been a Bone Thug and Harmony member the past 20 years, but still, he's Busy Bone.
Right. Yeah.
So you can always look at him as he's a part of, you know, Bone Thugs and Harmony and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Who are the producers on the project that you're working on? Like this, like how many producers are on the project? Who's on the project? Excuse me.
So we got a few joints from Self. Self is a well-known producer. Carrie produced for 50, a bunch of artists. Check out Coach Cap, of course. Coach Cap has done phenomenal production on there the same way he does on any other projects. We also got my boy CJ. CJ comes from like out of a camp that was like kind of taught by Pharrell. He's one of those producers that does a lot of work underground. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. It's only about like 3 or 4 producers. Kept this project pretty much short as far as like team wise. Like a real house project. We didn't get too many. I don't have like features on here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's probably like one feature, and that might be Cat. Cat might be like the one feature on there. But other than that, we don't have like no features, nothing. So this is like one of those projects where I just had so much to say.
So there's no I'm not gonna hear like the riff raff is in the building.
Nah, the riff raff ain't really on this one.
Okay.
The riff raff isn't on this one. We need to work on some riff raff music, for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out to Main M6. We all kind of need to lock in, get in the studio and do some music. But me and Coach Cap got an album coming out too, right? But we've been dropping music as far as like from me and his project. We got a joint out called Back to Business. The video is out. It's out on all streaming platforms. Y'all go and check that out. That's featuring my boy Remo the Don. We all brothers. Remo the Don. We all went to school together, Jack. That's another thing I wanted to circle back real quick. Like, just we was talking about like Queens in the area. You name so many artists like that is right from our area, like where I grew up from, bro, on Murdoch. So a few blocks away, LL Cool J's house was, right? 4 blocks this way is Linden Boulevard. That's where Tribe Called Quest is from, right? 4 blocks the other way from me, Hollis. That's where Run DMC, Russell Simmons,
Cash Money
Click, Murder Inc. is from.
I have to remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Fucking right. Franny Lou, you had Boot Camp Click. No, what was it? What was it, Boot Camp Click? What was it? Fuck. I forget their names, but they was part of that clique or whatever. But there was just so much around in that area. And then I feel like that also trickled down
to the
Onyx on the south side, you know what I'm saying? On the other side, you know what I'm saying? Jeez. And then we can go deeper into 50, you know what I'm saying, and so much other shit. But that trickled down into how we grew up in school. Like there was so much talent in our school, so much talent, like as far as from rap, singing, so much different artists. And I feel like, man, I just look at it and I feel like we grew up in a spectacular time of creation.
And I don't want to sound like I don't care.
Facts. Don't ever.
So many.
Don't ever care what you want to say. Just say it.
Well, before we go to commercial break, there's so many talented people that was in our school.
That's what I'm talking about.
I will put our school up against
any school in that era.
Them.
Any school.
Any of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Do your homework. Do your research.
Facts.
It'll tell you. The facts don't lie.
Uh-huh.
Because when you look at everybody, what they got going on, you be like, wow, that school was full of talent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing can never take away from us, dog, is the talent.
It was boot camp for me. It was like dog. Rap, lyrical boot camp.
Y'all, I always go back to it. We're going to come back to that after commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go right back on that.
Let's do it.
Because we're going to talk about the boot camp. Because a lot of y'all ain't even get started yet.
Facts.
We're live on set. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production, Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio.
Now I later business. You wanna roll with the ride, you gotta pay admission. You know how it's hitting, yeah, hold up now. You hear the boom, you hear the back, you know it's going down. I keep my ear to the streets, you know I know the sounds. You see them backing up the phone, get some money down. Ain't get no invite, then don't come around.
And we're back. We in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. And before we left, you mentioned
Boot camp.
yeah,
Ooh, like Jack,
yeah.
Campus Magnet, however you want to call it. Like that was boot camp for me, like lyrical boot camp. So I would wake up, make sure that I had at least 3 verses. And at that time, like, his verses for me wasn't 16 bars, right? I'm writing 3 pages. That's a verse, right?
Nice.
I got the longest verse, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the most shit, right? So and every day, you know, we would have ciphers in the fucking cafeteria. My boy Bullethead be fucking banging on the fucking table.
Shout out to Neb Cool. Neb Cool used to be banging
Shout out to
on
my
that
guys.
shit. Yeah,
and
Neb Cool used to be
motherfuckers would
busy.
come. But the ill thing was like Bullethead would come like
Bullethead
with
would
certain
too.
beats for me, like the newest beat. Like I remember when fucking Oh No just dropped. He was like, yo, don't ransom. I got the Oh No. I'm like, all right, yo. When we go to the cafeteria, we're gonna light shit up.
Light that up.
We're gonna light shit up, B. You know what I'm saying? So like every day, and there was so many rappers, bro. And I remember when I came to Jack, I wasn't as skilled as I got. Right? I got skilled from hearing, especially Maine. Maine, brother M6. That's my favorite rapper.
Shout out to M6. Yeah.
First, still to this day, one of my favorite rappers because I know like everything he say, I know it. Like I'm about to fucking imitate AR rap just now. I know everyone he talk about, he shot a nigga. I know it because I was right there when he did that. When M6 did that to those 5 people, I was right there. You know what I'm talking about, M6. But him, shout out to Casper, Craig, you yourself, Cap. The list is Dell. It was rappers. You know what I'm saying? It was people who was coming every day, like to spar. It was sparring.
That
you know what I'm saying?
made me sharpen
I seen any one of those brothers getting on and becoming somebody. Like I seen like, oh, you could be somebody. You could be a star. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like our school was should have been one of those story schools of like, yo, look at the class of people that came from out there. And I think we still have that though. I think if you look, we do have that.
That's why we do what we still do now.
Absolutely.
Because like I was just saying when I was talking to Bricklay, when I was talking to Say, I was saying that
part of the class.
Last time I checked, I could sit back and take notes. I could take notes in the commercial break.
Yeah.
You could see all of those who actually had the talent and all of those that held on to the talent and stepped it up. That's why when we sit back and be like, damn, dog, you at the Grammys, you doing S and shit, you do what? I'm like, yo, dog, it didn't come easy.
Yeah.
But anybody who know me be like, yeah, you know, came from the mud, nigga, pig pen.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Talk about it. It's a grind. It's an everlasting grind that I think like a certain class of people have, right? That just won't stop, but also keep refining themselves. Like it's a big part of like really finding yourself. And then when you're young, you're never really gonna know your full self. As you grow, learn and find out who you're really becoming. Learn and find out who you really are, and kind of peel off everything that the community, right, your environment, or whatever it is, kind of put on you, or that you had to shield yourself with. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, you start to break some of that off and you start to really become who you are. And as you do that, you'll find yourself evolving in your talent. You'll find yourself evolving as a person and everything around you. And I think that that's the greatest ability and the greatest thing that we have when you use that as a tool for all of the other things that you love, whether that's fucking doing a podcast, whether that's doing a show, whether that's writing a book, whether that's giving back to the community through a nonprofit organization, whether that's through having your own clothing line, you know what I'm saying, from head to toe. You know what I mean? The Doe Jones shoes I don't. You know what I mean? So, and it's all about, to me, like when you said before, like we was talking about earlier, having an agenda. It is real, and to some people it might sound cliche, corny, or whatever, but it's really about creating a pocket, people and individuals with new ideology to take their communities, their families to a higher place, into a better generation, and then duplicate that in another circle, duplicate, so it makes a big change. It's not gonna happen overnight, but it's a strategy. Change. You start with your pocket, whether that's your family, right? And your close-knit family, that could be 5 to 10 people. And you set a financial strategy, a wealth strategy, health strategy, and things like that. You find other people who want the same things, and you show them how to duplicate and do that within their families. I think that should be the goal. That's one of my main focus. Going back to the question that you asked earlier, what's the focus? It's that. And inside of that is everything. Inside of that is the music.
Yeah.
Inside of that is the book. Inside of that is this conversation, right? This conversation, everything, think about how much we talked about today, from the clothing to the book to the music to the advocacy outside. These are all plugged and played in together right now at this moment through the music.
Yeah.
Right? My nonprofit organization, with the event that we're doing, we're filming that, turning that into a documentary. You know what I'm saying? A documentary is going to have a soundtrack. So when it goes back to the focus, it's about connecting these dots. It's about connecting the seeds. It's about making sure that the harvest grows. I know that the harvest is not going to grow all at the same time, but it's making sure that there is a system for that harvest, that farming, that we farming right. You know what I'm saying? And just side note, man, just to talk about what you're doing, man. Those 3, I love those 3 R's. I'm going to make sure that I remember those that you talk about, because it shows in your ethic, right? It shows what you're doing. And a lot of people just talk about shit, but when you could talk about something and it shows through you, that's the count. That's what counts. That's what's value. And that's something that I want to take in my toolbox and say, okay, you know what? It's something simple that you can apply to your day. You know what I'm saying? Routine, rituals. Last one. Responsibilities. That's great shit right there. I'm leaving with that every day. Today. That was great for me. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you and I appreciate you for that.
Well, it goes both ways.
You're doing, bro.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying, man? You done seen me as well. I never chased, like the materialistic bullshit. I always threw it back into the business. Always threw it back into equipment. Always wanted, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never went to the dealership yet. I ain't never wild out for respect yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, I'm glad to be amongst, people I've known you for a long time.
Facts.
And, you always kept your integrity intact.
Appreciate that.
That says a lot about you. You know what I'm saying? And, just the circle, you know what I'm saying? To you, to Cap, to Maine, you know what I mean? To Splash, you know what I mean? To Inf, you know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys that assisted in making sure that's my dude Irv. You know what I'm saying? And I always had a escape. Always had an escape route. You know what I'm saying? Always had a,
What was that?
Just always had a. If I always need to get away, I could always go to the hillside.
Absolutely. What?
I could always go to Jamaica.
What?
I could always, pull up on the block.
That's big
I
talk
always
right
had somewhere I could always go to. Even after a while, like I knew I had to really, really, like do it. When I was to go over to Caps, and then Grandma be in the room, and it was like I do a verse, and she be like, you can do better than that. I'm like, yo, hold on.
Grandma told you that?
Let me turn up. Let me give a little bit because you don't want to. We in there, but then that did it. You be like, what?
Nah, there was multiple times
they never
I was recording and Grandma was like, nah, you got to turn him down.
Yeah. Oh, loud one. The loud one.
And a cursing one. And what is he talking about? Selling and doing what? No, turn him down. Yeah. But even the house, right? With Cap opening up his house, which was a studio and another. So I feel like school we had was the Spar, was the place where we went to go, you know what I'm saying? Spar. Cap's house was practice. Cap's house was team meeting. Cap's house
Chad,
was the gym.
Mitch,
right? Was the factory.
You guys
It's where I learned I couldn't write 16 bars and where I was forced to like learn and cut. Or I remember how I said my verses would be 3 pages. I would want to fit those 3 pages into a song.
And even though I was a fan of the music, that's when I got a real closer introduction to, keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
Dead ass. You know what I'm saying? Where it was cool to be self, and then you get the invite. Yo, come up the hill.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jump on the 77.
Absolutely.
Once you come up over there, then you in the middle of and we recorded a quick joint, right on cassette, and then here go Mitch, driving around the streets and drop me back off. But yeah, man, I don't take that back, man. I can never ever get here without y'all guys, assistance. You know what I'm saying?
that.
So thank you guys as well. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who's trying to get into this industry, trying to get into rap,
Be genuine to yourself. Be genuine to yourself. Keep God in everything. And those are 2 main things. Be genuine to yourself. This is important. I don't want to just say this and just glance over. Like, when you do things, when you're a creator in this world, this lively universe that we live in, you're gonna find yourself pulled in so many different ways. You're gonna find, like I said, you're gonna find yourself, right? But in the midst of that, make sure that whatever you're doing is genuine, right? Not because the masses want it, not because the label says it, not because the A&R says it, not even because if your fans say it. It's because you want to give it. You have to find yourself, give your all to that. Give your all to whatever you do. So that's what I would say. Keep guarding because everybody needs God. Like gangsters, when they get shot, God. Right before they dying, they pray to God. You know what I'm saying? So let's not leave. Let's not wait till it's the last day to start trying to put God into your life.
Or wait until things get bad, then you want to start asking God for guidance and strength. Nah, it's supposed to be, every head must bow, every tongue must confess, right?
Love it. You know what I'm saying? And cut out the cancer, right? If you know there's something in your life that doesn't belong, you know that there's something in your life that, right? Like the alcohol. I had to cut off the alcohol. Once I was able to cut off the alcohol, in 3 years, life changed. I was able to write a book, do this, do different things, right? Start an organization. And I think about, damn, all of the years that something may have been holding me back, right? Something that you thought was just like kind of so innocent to do, right? Could have really been taking so much time out of your life.
Could have.
Right? Has. Lost so much shit that I can't even remember, right? Deals that's going out the window because you don't even remember it because you got drunk after because you was celebrating. You know what I'm saying? And you done missed the meeting, right? Shit like that.
The studio sessions.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. So cut out the cancers out your life too. You know what I'm saying? Stay genuine to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Keep God in your life and cut out the cancers out your life. You know what I'm saying? You'll be all right. Facts.
Yo, sir, I know it's not your only time because, you done pop up on a set. We're doing so many different things, but sir, you are an amazing talent.
So you, bro.
Thank you for pulling up on the set. I tell you guys all the time, the quality of your living is based on your ability to remain and how you go and how you go about it. Listen, man, your back's against the wall, write a song, write a book.
Write a book. Write a movie.
Write a movie.
You know what I'm saying?
Connect the dots. Get on Zoom calls. Ask people questions. Create a clothing line.
Do something. Everybody should have an entrepreneurial spirit.
And, right? Everybody has a gift.
Everybody has a gift.
Everybody has a gift. Even if they don't even know what it is yet, you still have one.
And somebody will tell you. Figure it out. Just keep doing good.
Yeah. And, like you said, cut those cancers out, put people out,
That's a fact. Yo, real quick before we go. Yo, what was your code name when people had to call you in high school?
Shit, there's a few.
It was a few? What was the code name you gave me? He's like, yo, when you call a house, you got to say this so they'll know that you talk about music.
I don't know. You know what's funny you say that, though? Probably like Silly Bone or some shit.
No, it wasn't, but it was connected to that. Where they from?
Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Yeah.
That nigga go, yo, you was like, yo, when you call my house, bro, you gotta ask for Cleveland. I was like, what the fuck? And I did that shit too. When I called you, I was like, yo, is Cleveland there? They was like, Irv. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, listen. And sure enough, and shout out to my brother and sister, because they be like, they done put up with some shit. Because I be like, yo, they be like, some girls will come and be like, hey, can I speak to Deso? They be like, fuck is Deso? I'm like, oh, that's my girl.
That's so.
Yeah,
B.
Fuck you calling
Everybody got
Deso?
one of those names. That's hilarious, bro.
Yo, name for everything. But yo, brother, thank you for putting up on the set.
Same here, man. Love you back,
Love
bro.
you, dog.
Appreciate you, man.
Listen, man, check Doughboy Sums out. He's
know.
on all platforms.
Facts.
Check out the book.
Don't bite the hand.
Don't bite the hand that weeds you. Believe that. You know what I'm saying? And fly artwork. Who did the artwork?
I did.
You did all this?
Yeah, I did all of that.
All right, well, he's doing art covers as well. Yeah. Again, something else he's doing. We on the set, yo.
Yeah.
Get to work. Find something to do.
Find something to do.
Find something to do.
Yeah.
There's always something to do.
Let's go. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yes, sir.